told me that I was pregnant by a jinn.
Bro, listen, these men found a jinn in a cave. So, a jinn is a mythological creature from the Islamic and Arab tradition.
I'm hearing that we're sharing jinn stories, and I want to share the most actually scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me.
I'm hearing that we're sharing jinn stories, and I want to share the most actually scariest thing that's ever happened to me my whole entire life. And before the skeptics go, oh, it's actually I just want to say I know what I saw and I know how I felt. Ever since we were kids, my mom taught us that jinns exist and they are supernatural beings, they have free will, and they live in places where humans don't usually go to, especially bathrooms. And at first, I was a skeptic. She put us onto this this prayer you're supposed to read to protect yourself in the bathroom. And since Arabic isn't my primary language, plus I was a kid, I was not going to memorize all that, to be honest. I never read it. I never ran into any problems until this one day. Let me set the scene for you. Everyone is in the living room. It's a normal afternoon. I decide to go use the bathroom. It is a running gag in my house that I take the longest in the bathroom, because when I'm in the bathroom, it's free time. I'm over here dancing, just having a great time. I was in that bathroom for so long, I got tired of being in this bathroom. I go to wash my hands. Mind you, I'm a kid, okay? I go to wash my hands. When I look up in the mirror, I see a shadow figure standing like right over there. It's like I could see through it, but at the same time, I can't see through it. And it looks like it's reaching for the bathroom door that's behind me. And I'm trying to convince myself that this is not real. But in the back of my mind, I know it's real. Like I had like hair standing up back here. So I do a quick little peek just to see if it's like actually behind me. Why is it actually behind me? Better yet, why'd it hit me one of these? Why'd it hit me one of these? Saw a glowing red eye staring right in my direction. I wanted to run, but mind you, it was standing by the bathroom door. Felt like literal hours passed, but I finally lunged at the door and I ran out that bathroom so quickly. I ran all the way to the living room, and my mom saw the look of fear and shock in my eyes, and she said, "You saw it, didn't you?" Wallahi, after that day, that cat became my core memory. But if I think about it, why did she say it like that? Because did you see something too?
Like 2 days ago, I posted a video about how I met 4 vampires while I was doing Lyft. This is actually the car I was in. One was here, the rest of them were there. And in the comments, people kept asking me, like, how do I know it wasn't an alien? How do I know it wasn't a jinn? And several people mentioned the jinn thing. And it made me think about the time I was coming off the L. This man told me that I was pregnant by a jinn. So I was coming off the red line at Wilson, because I lived in Uptown, and he was sitting there. He had like a microphone or something. He was handing out some Muslim like religious paperwork or whatever, and he stopped me and he's like, hey, like, you should take Allah's Allah, all that type of stuff. And I stopped to talk to him for a minute. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, Jamila. He pointed down to my stomach. He's like, that's Ryan Boudreaux's baby. I'm like, how, what? Because at the time, this gonna make me sound like such a slut bucket, but I didn't even know my baby daddy's last name. Hate to say it, but you can understand why. And I'm like, what? Like, how do you know? And he's like, oh, I used to room with him at some place that they were staying at, and he's like, he's a jinn. So I want you to know you pregnant by a jinn. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, ask your mom. She's Muslim. Hold on! What you know about my mama? Because my family has never been super religious, but my mom did used to practice Islam. My daddy, Jehovah's Witness, and my auntie had us in church every Sunday. They was mixing religions up. But still, who are you and what's going on? So he gave me some examples of how my baby daddy used to always throw away his like religious work, and his Muslim tapes would come up missing, his Quran would come up missing. Now, as he's telling me this, I'm freaking out, because what is a jinn? So as I go home, I'm talking to my roommate about it, and I'm thinking about how the very first and foremost, I wanted to wait until I was married to have sex. I wanted to wait until I was married to lose my virginity. Someone took it upon themselves to take it without my consult, but that's a different story. However, that year, I was like throwing caution to the wind, but still not in the whole phase. I met my baby daddy, and it was just something that he had that je ne sais quoi, and he was fine as ever, right? I met him on Thursday. I was in bed with him on Tuesday, and it's so unlike me. And the crazy thing about it was, I was in there like a vixen. I don't know what was going on with me. But the whole time in my head, I'm screaming, like, stop, like, you don't want to do this. Like, tell him to stop, tell him to get up, make him leave. However, I could not get the words out of my mouth, and I could not stop doing what I was doing. Anyways, when we were done, he was like, I just got you pregnant with my son. Now, another thing, why was I having unprotected sex? Completely unlike me. Like, it was almost like I was, again, in a trance. So he's like, I just got you pregnant with my son. I'm like, why would you say that? And he's like, I'm outside, so I'm like looking at my surroundings. That's a side effect of living in Chicago. You go be. Anyways, he's like, I just got you pregnant with my son because I'm not gonna live to see 30, and a piece of me have to still be out here on Earth walking around. Okay, now I don't want to see you no more. Cute or not, you're crazy. You gotta go. So I threw his number away, and I thought I wasn't gonna never look back. And so 3 weeks later, who's pregnant? Me. Long story short, we have a son. He is, I think he's 22 or 23. When you have this many kids, it's hard to keep track. But this brother told me I was pregnant by a Jinn. And then he told me the day our son was born that now it's time to have a daughter. And at the time, I'm like, bro, I didn't even really plan on seeing this guy again, but because I was pregnant, of course, had to reach back out. But I'm not having no more kids with you. All right, so our daughter would be 21, and he died when he was 27. And so I was telling this story to one of my friends, and she was kind of saying that she had like some clairvoyance or whatever. And she's like, oh no, jinns really exist or whatever. And so I was just like, but he was so fam, like how could it be a jinn and look like that? And so I was showing her a picture, and her face turned, like, she lost the color in her face. And she was like, get that picture away from me. She's like, he's definitely a jinn, but not just any kind. He's a succubus or some shit. She said something like that. And she was saying, like, they are the sexual ones, and they have, like, a sexual power. And did. But, and it's so crazy because, like, at some point we tried to be in a little relationship, and he had cheated on me. So I broke up with him, but when I talked to the lady he cheated on me with, she had, like, he was driving her car, and just, like, she had lost her damn mind with the input, like, what she was letting him do in her life. And I was like, girl, have you lost your mind? The D ain't that good. And she was like, yes, it is. And I was like, it is. But anyways, yeah, that's my little Jinn story. Wait, why? What's all this supernatural shit happening? Lord, if you trying to tell me something.
What you see in front of you is a real jinn. Now, when I first saw this video, I was horrified. The video has almost 14 million views, and people can genuinely not believe what they are seeing. Now, you're probably thinking, I swear humans can't see jinns. Well, you're correct, because no humans can see jinns in their true form. But you can see a jinn that appears in a different form. Just like Pookie over here. The most common misconception about jinns is that they are the most scariest things that exist, and that we should stay clear of them by any means necessary. Now, I've heard so many stories where people befriend jinns thinking they're Christian or Muslim, hence good jinns. And they've turned out to be devils. Lucifer 666. They take advantage of human naivety to make you think that they are good jinns. Some of them have existed for thousands of years. The level of shaitanic wisdom they possess can make you think that they're good jinns. Next thing you know, they've convinced you to sacrifice a chicken, a lamb, and your whole family. But you generally should avoid confrontation with a jinn. Don't go to forests at night. Don't go to abandoned buildings. Just avoid those places at all costs. Because if you go to their homes and disturb their peace, then they're going to want to come to your yard and disturb your peace. The thing is, they're more scared of true believers than true believers are of them. You'll never see a Muslim starring in a Western horror movie because we just have to say one thing and it's game over for the jinns. If you're Muslim, then you already know what that is.
Bro, listen, these men found a jinn in a cave. So, a jinn is a mythological creature from the Islamic and Arab tradition, often described as a supernatural being or a spirit with extraordinary powers. They are typically capricious and can take various forms, such as animals or humans. But before showing you the rest of the video, I want to clarify that I can only protect my followers who have commented and watched the video until the end. Type I am and let your keyboard finish the sentence. And look, this woman filmed a Jinn walking in the middle of the street. Bro, have you seen its form? Do you think it took the shape of an animal? It's important to be very cautious with these creatures. Some say they can be more dangerous than skinwalkers. Dogs can sense jinns, and if you look closely, there is a dark shape behind the glass next to the door, and that's one of them. Bro, your phone might be spied on to ensure this doesn't happen to you. Click here then on more. If you see an app like this one, delete it immediately.
Usually if a Jinn likes you, they'll give you rings so you can see them. If a Jinn wants to give you some of their power, they usually give you an anklet or a bracelet and will bind some of their power to you. Then if they want to make a contract, they'll give you a tattoo. Once you rub and activate the contract, they'll summon them and they'll do a request for you.